off laying all the way back. Get your legs in, straighten your legs out, get your head in, lay all the way back. Nice and comfortable. Let's a couple of good deep breaths start to flow. Good, feel the body relaxing. I always like to connect us with a little intention before we get started. So what I was thinking of for today's class really is a gratitude. I have so many different gratitudes that are coming up for me, especially this month. And so the gratitude that I was thinking of for today is connection. I'm just so grateful that I do have so many people to connect with, so many friends, so many family members. Really, if there's somebody I need to talk to about something, I've got so many people I can reach out to. Different varieties, different tastes based on the, whatever the particular situation is that day. Humans are made to connect, and there's something about connecting outward to others that's really special. Sometimes there's deeper energetic work that we experience, or meditative work, where suddenly we get a glimpse of how much more connected we are to others than we think that we are. And so to me, diving deeper into that concept of connection is always a really kind of almost magical field. It inspires me, and it helps to energize me, kind of lift up my vibration, my frequency. So that gratitude for connection is our intention for today, the idea to keep in the back of the mind. And it works really well with aerial yoga because almost everything, we're connected to the fabric in one way or another. Such a useful, just helpful tool that something else is joining us in our class to help us stretch better, help us get stronger, all that good stuff. And so connection, that's the theme that we'll be working on and playing with today. And so with that idea to help guide us into our beautiful practice, let's take some nice initial stretches for our body. Let the arms start to extend all the way to the back wall. And the shoulders will start to wiggle a little bit to the right, and shoulders a little bit to the left. I might take that 2 or 3 times to help open up the shoulders and the side ribs. Get some of those deep areas starting to stretch out, the breath starting to really flow. Good. When we come back through the center, let's give the right knee a good hug into the chest. Clasping around that knee, sometimes I'll do some ankle rolls. Loosen up some of those snap, crackle, pops. Let's extend right leg up to sky. Grab onto wherever you can reach, thigh, calf, foot. So that first extension here. And notice, see if you can feel how this part of your body is connected to everything else. It has its own function, its own role. Life would be a lot harder without it. So a little thought of gratitude for this leg. And then let's move into the hip. So to get a hip stretch, we take that right ankle and hook it on the back left side of the fabric. Kind of like a pigeon pose, but laying on our back. If you're confused, just peek at neighbors. Once you've got the ankle hooked, just slide the shin in. As much as the knee is happy with. Let's give it just a couple more good deep breaths. Feel that sense of connection. How the breath is connected to the lungs. It's connected to the heart. The heart's connected to everywhere. All these little muscles getting fed. All the tissues, all the organs. One more huge inhale. Nice exhale. Let's free out this right leg. Sometimes I'll give it a bonus tug up to sky and drop it all the way down. Left knee gets the hug in. Some ankle rolls. Loosen up the tightness of the foot. When you're ready to stretch it up to sky, start moving into hamstring. Sometimes this is the first major hamstring stretch of the day, so really just enjoy this moment to be right there with it. Good. When you're ready to hook the ankle over, it's left foot to back right side this time. Once you've got it there, slide the shin in as much as is comfortable for me. And a few easy deep breaths here. One more good inhale. Exhale, free out this leg. Maybe that bonus tug up into the sky. And when you're ready, drop it all the way down. Let's kick the feet free off the front. Hands grab onto the fabric, helping us sit up. Good. So from sitting, let's take a nice easy inversion. The hands are on the back side, the thumbs hook to the back side of the fabric. That hook of the thumbs is meant to help push the fabric down. I like to go right about where the back side of pant line is and then lay back with it locked right there. Once you're here, gripping on, fabric got pushed back. Let's widen the legs. Continue to lay back. The wide legs means you won't fall out. Wrap your ankles around the pole. And then with that ankle wrap, you're safe to let go of hands if you'd like to. If you're hanging for a moment and you realize, okay, the fabric didn't go quite where I wanted it to be, you can come back out to readjust. Nothing wrong with that. Some people love to hang inversions for quite a while. Some people, maybe a couple breaths and you're out. So no pressure either way. It's good deep breaths flowing. Whenever you're coming out, leave your elbows hooked on the backside and continue to just let the shoulders slide forward. It's called floating child. No rush for those that want to be upside down a bit longer. We'll give you a little bit more. Notice how inversions are a chance not only for us to connect with the fabric, but also to connect with our spine. It's a moment where we get to realize how much of an impact, how connected we are with gravity, and how gravity pulls on our spine in one direction. Eventually that creates back pain often, and so this is a chance to reverse some of that, to have that length. So if you're still wanting to invert a bit longer, keep on inverting. We're going to take a couple of stretches, those that have been up for a little while. So let's sit all the way up. We're taking hands to the inside. Our right knee comes in, hands try to clasp around that right foot. If you can, if that's gonna end up being too far, you can always flip to ankle instead, but try to straighten this leg up as much as possible. It means that you have to lean back just a hair to counterbalance the weight of the leg. If you're super not getting anywhere close to straight, you can walk the hands a little further down, that's fine, if that feels like it's a more useful stretch. Notice how trying to get the ball of the foot to pull closer toward us is one way to connect us into the calf area. Take another huge inhale. Exhale. Let's release this leg, cross that right knee over the left knee, and then bunch up your fabric that's on the right side. The fabric bunched up on the right, allow your right arm to stretch all the way to the back wall or circle around the back side of it. So feel how your bottom knee can kind of push against your top calf to help start creating an IT band stretch for that right thigh. You can even wrap your toes around the calf if you'd like to. like an eagle's wrap. Huge breath in. Nice exhale. Gentle release. Uncross. The hands come to the inside so we can take that left knee in. Clasp around foot, or if you already know you want to work around ankle or whatever instead, that's fine. Start to let this leg extend up. Feel that nice reach, that work, that extension, trying to lengthen. Continue breathing, helping this leg out. Remember, ball of foot getting pulled toward us works us into calf a little bit more. Another good inhale. Nice exhale. When we release, left thigh crosses over. Maybe set up the toe, wrap around the calf if you've done. Bunch up fabric to left. Left arm opens up to the back wall or circles around the head. And let that spine continue to twist in a amount that feels really good. Another huge inhale. Beautiful exhale. Good, release. Uncross the knee. Take both arms back to the outside. A little bit of core strengthening. Take it into boat pose. The knees float up. Hands can stay hooked or float at your sides, whatever you wish. We're gonna try to do bicycles here. So one leg circles out and then the other. Keep breathing. There's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that down, sitting back up. We're bunching up fabric to the side that will face you into the center of the room so you can continue to see the whole time. So both hands bunch up on that half. Once you've got it bunched, block the arms straight. The hip that just got lifted, that's the leg that's gonna swing up and over. Good. But once you're sitting up tall here, bunch the fabric back up. Almost like a cat-cow here. With our exhale, we're pushing into the fabric, maybe even briefly lifting the legs up. And then inhale, pull your heart forward, gaze. Exhale. Take another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. It's going to be different sides for each of us since we're facing different directions, but your ankle that is closer to the mirror side, take that ankle and place it up on the fabric in front of you. Let's just take slow, deep breaths into that hip. If you need more, hug your arms into it, pull your heart closer. If it's pretty intense, you can always lock your arms out, making it easier. Take a moment to think of what you're connected to. This could be a relationship, a romantic sense. This could be physical. Right now I'm physically connected to the hammock. It could be deeper emotional or metaphorical things. Imagine by tuning into our breath and trying to connect deeper with that, we're also connecting with that other thing that we're connected to that we just thought of. So one more huge breath in. Nice exhale. This foot that's up, take the arch of the foot onto the fabric that's in front of us. Toes turned out to the same direction as the knee. And just let that foot slide up as much as the hamstring wants to allow to. The knee's a little bent, that's okay. If you need to push your arm into it to help lock it a little bit easier, that's okay. Only if this is really easy, you're like, I need more, then the hand starts to back. Another good inhale. Exhale, this leg frees down. Second ankle comes up. So it's the hip moment. So if you need to hug in, pulling the heart closer, that's fine. If it's already a good distance, maybe that's it. More breaths, trying to experience connection, if nothing else, with our breath. Huge inhale. Nice exhale. Bring the arch of the foot onto the fabric. Sliding the leg up to hamstring stretch. Two more breaths for this half. And then when this leg frees out, free it to mirror side. So we're facing forward. Give the hips a couple of moments to shift until we're facing all the way forward truly. From here, we'll go into vampire pose. Those that are super comfortable with it, go ahead and go right into it. Those that it's your first time doing vampire or first time in a while, feel free to watch first. So this is one where it's like a shoulder stand. So we're taking the fabric that's behind us, grab onto it. Notice how my elbows are here active so that I can take all the excess down, because if I get too much in my neck, it pushes into my neck uncomfortably. So my elbows are pushing down. I'm getting just enough of this fabric to completely cover my shoulders like a cap sleeve. So once you've got that and the excess is brought down into the waist, you'll lay all the way back. And then your feet is going to take that excess from your waist all the way down to your feet. So you step your feet in, you lift your hips up, and then extending legs out helps to take that excess down. Sometimes it even takes 2 or 3 times to get all of it down. But once you've got yourself laying back, you've got shoulders absolutely safely covered, hands grab the backside of fabric. You get the feet up, it can be inside or outside. You push the feet out. You're on the inside pushing out, and you lift up. So that's vampire. So I'll come by to help. So you're good except for the foot position. So it comes in this moment. This spot right here pushes into that. Yep. Gives you something to work off with the core. So this gives you completely covered. Now lay back. Yep, just like that. See all this excess? Your feet are taking that down by lifting your hips up. Yep, just like that. Do that a couple more times. Yep, you did it. Hands grip up. You got it. You're still covered. So feet come up. Just over here. So not wrapping, but push. So turn your toes out to walk. Yep. Let me stop your rocking. See if you can rise up the hips even more. That's it. Good. Okay. So you, sir, not quite in a safe position. Go ahead and come out. So if you're doing down fingers, covering shoulders, if you're going back to the other inversion, remember to go wide with the legs. You're going on the inside, and that might lead to falling out. But why, if you're doing just the inversion we did before, just go wide. Yes, cover shoulders, good. Good. Feet are not rounding. Push out into it. Yep. And then from there, you can rise up down. Hands can still grip on. Yeah, so the arms and shoulders need to stay because this is what your body is. So grip right there. Yep. And then just start pushing the fabric to rise up. You got it. This moment when it's like we just feel our breath being upside down. So no rush. If you do come out, you're welcome to just go to a shavasana, but no rush. All of you guys look like you're enjoying yourselves. So we take a little bit of time for recovery when we're heading out. You guys were good. You came out pretty much all together. Love it. Well, you can either lay back in shavasana for a little while or come up to that floating child pose where the elbows hook. Either one is fine. Eventually, what we're looking for is checking in with our body and tuning in to know that our body is feeling good to move on. So some people that maybe have been doing inversions for quite some time, their recovery time is minimal. It's like maybe 2, 3, 4 breaths and then they're good to go. Those that need a little bit longer, like you have ear fullness or just nausea, anything like that that needs a little bit more time, your way to communicate with me is just staying in your recovery pose. That helps me know how you're doing. Just let those good slow breaths flow. Eventually, when you feel like you are pretty good, that's when you come up to a comfortable seated place, but don't feel rushed to do so if you still need to just lay back. And always know you have freedom if you need to just stay in a recovery pose too. You're like, I'm going to take 5 extra minutes and it's okay. We can move on or whatever. Eventually we can get there, but you guys are doing good. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to start heading out. If you still need your recovery time, just stay. Nothing wrong with that. We're heading out by bunching up fabric and then just lifting the hips up and make sure we don't dive on our face. So let's take fabric out in front of us. We'll grip on about as wide as shoulders or slightly wider. Go ahead and face forward. Yeah. And start to let the upper body go forward, hips go back. For that nice stretch in the spine. All together, let's point ourselves closer to the front door. You're going to allow the right elbow to bend down to the ground. The knees and hips just do whatever they need to be comfortable. Good. Sway back forward. Get to back door. Left elbow. Back forward. Let's lower down to knees. This will allow us to do puppy pose. So in puppy pose, we keep the hips over the knees. The rest of the upper body dips down. So like a huge arch in the spine. If the arms stay straight, it's a bit deeper in shoulders. If you want to bend elbows, that's also safe. So you choose the puppy pose for a couple of breaths. Really think of your heart trying to drop down even more. Then sit your hips back to the heels and purposely round your spine the other way. Good. Coming upright. What we're going to do for the next couple of poses is ease into this right shoulder. So note if you have any shoulder injuries that makes it so that you should take it much more gentle, you'll just stay in a kneeling position and just work on the shoulder from here. If you're feeling good, what we're going to do is drop down to the left elbow like a Sphinx pose. The right knee will slide up, and then we're going to be working on that right shoulder, kind of rotating it forward for a couple of breaths. Rotating it backwards. So left elbow down, and then slide the right knee up to the side so we're also opening up that hip. Good. Feel free to pause if you find the right angle for that shoulder. It's twisting it or stretching it just right. And then what we're gonna do, straightening both legs, sit up. You're facing away from me for a moment. And then you're going to continue to twist away. So if I was facing down, my left side of the mat is where I'm now facing toward. And I'm twisting to the point where I'm kind of like leaning into it, feeling that right shoulder twist across my body now. So it's like across my chest. So I'm facing the back wall. And then I just continue to lean to that side. Yep, you got it. Good. Okay. Now we're done with this right arm. So we're gonna take that Sphinx variation, face back to the fabric. You can release hands. Left hand is the one that goes inside while you're facing it. We're going down to right elbow, and then left knee is the one that slides up. And then we're working through that left shoulder. If you find the perfect spots, the perfect angles, just pause. Ease into some of these tight areas. Sometimes as I'm bringing the shoulder back kind of behind me, I might even lean the head down and away to create even more space in that left shoulder. So the neck can be part of this as well. Good. Now let's go to that crossbody one. So the grip stays the same, but we're sitting up, facing the back wall. And then continue to tilt. It's going to be tilting toward your left shoulder side until it's like that arm is crossing the body. So it's under your chin area. Good. Lean down as much as feels good for that shoulder. Huge inhale. Exhale, ease up. Let go of the fabric. Let's face back forward on our knees. This one I'm a little bit further behind the fabric. It's like I'm a good probably foot or foot and a half behind the plumb line. We're gripping both hands back on. So this one's a little sequence. It starts off with leaning back. You take a moment where you feel both quads stretching. And then from here, your arm strength lifts your hips up. You're taking a back bend. Continue to lift your arm strength up until you're rising up on your knees. From there, arms slide forward back into puppy pose. And then into child pose. So I'm continuing to sit on the feet, back. Quads are stretching, hips lift up. Transition all the way through the spine into puppy. And then child. Let's take that full sequence 3 more times. If you ever get your head too close to the ground, you can always scoot forward a little bit, or too close to the back wall rather. Two. Eventually last cycle. Good. So from here, let's get our feet out in front of us. Let's do a little wrist lock just to help our fingers feel better. So prayer position, hands inside. Thumbs turn down, scoop under toward your face and flip up. Separate about as wide as shoulders behind your phone. Okay, so have feet planted in front of you. And then lift up to tabletop spine. Pull up and down. So repeat another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk yourself backwards to stand all the way up and flip the wrist to get out. Beautiful. Let's take fabric to the hips. Tiptoe forward to take all the slack out, and then drop the hands down. 2 or 3 big steps back to bring the hips back under plumb line. And then from here, lift your hips up into plank position. Notice how you can swing the hips a little bit left and right. Watch out for neighbors, but feel how that loosens up the waist and the hips a little bit. If it ever gets too much pressure across your hip bones, you can always return feet down. Just a little loosening for that low back. Good. Dropping toes to the earth, downward facing dog. So you can use your arm and leg strength to lift hips almost away from fabric if it's getting too tight. But let's take a little twist. So left hand plants in front of face. Right hand reaches up, grab either strand. The further one is a deeper twist. Drop this right hand down. Second side. Grab either strand. Farther one's a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale, hand comes down. Walk your feet forward until feet are flat on the ground. Roll the spine up. Take fabric out behind us. A moment just to kind of lay back into the fabric. Fabric's at about the shoulder blades. So I personally like to spread the feet about as wide as mat. So I can bend my right knee, straighten my right. And eventually bend my left knee, straighten the left. Couple of times back and forth. Back through the center. Let's open the arms to the sides and continue to let the heart arch up and back. Good. Head up. Easy grip onto the fabric. Walk yourself back until you're standing up, but leave the arms inside. Left foot comes under the plumb line. Opening the arms, we're going to take warrior 3, so right foot kicks back. Feel how you have support in that balance. Keep a little bit of pressure into the fabric so it kind of stays right by the shoulder blades. As you curl the right knee into the chest, grab around the back side of that right thigh. Bend your standing leg until you can rest yourself back into the fabric, and then give it a good extension up to the sky. Good. Bend the knee. Open back forward, warrior 3. Good. Right foot drops to the ground underneath us. And then left foot kicks back. A moment to feel the balance. The pressure into the fabric. Start to curl that left knee in, clasp around the thigh. Keep the pressure, bending standing leg until you can straighten back. And extend left leg. Good. Back down. Kick through warrior 3. Foot down. Lean forward. The fabric is slipping down the triceps. And then when I've leaned forward enough, I can flip my hands up to grab. Good. So try to bunch it up in a whole bundle. Just a couple of breaths coming forward like a plank position. 3, 2, pull that nice shoulder stretch. 1, good. Hips come back. Release hands all the way down, free of fabric. Next inhale circles us up to sky. Hands down to heart. Good. Fabric out in front. Let's take our right ankle inside. Facing forward. First, let's work for a moment on the calf of the foot that's in. So use the hands on the sides for balance as needed. Starting to lean our torso forward. Perhaps right hand can grab around the ball of that right foot and pull the ball of that foot toward us. Begin to stretch calf. You can stay here or slide the hands all the way up high, easing into splits. Weight comes back for a moment so we can turn our standing toes to the left long edge of mat. Grabbing onto the left strand, left hand goes up, right hand down. Either stay here or continue to take side splits to mirror. Good inhale. Exhale, rising up. Grip one hand on each side, toes turn back forward. Another splits forward. Let's feel if our body's opened up even a little bit deeper. Remember, if you keep the ball of the foot flexing toward you, that makes the calf be part of it. Good. Weight back over standing leg. and a spinal twist. So left hand grips on right side, right arm opens up behind. Beautiful. Facing back forward. We'll switch sides. You can either just step this foot out, step the other leg in, or swinging switch, grip up high, leave the leg locked straight, and you just step one foot in, the other foot out. Good. So from here, fabric is used to help us balance as we try to grab on left hand onto that left ball of foot, pull it toward us, calf stretch. Beautiful. You can stay or slide hands up for splits. Good. Come back so we can rotate the standing toes to right. Grab onto right strand, right hand up, left hand down. Chest is open. Maybe this is the best spot. Maybe sinking more weight forward. To you. One more breath in. And out. Return up, standing toes point forward. One more split for this side, sinking weight forward. Maybe a little bit more space this time. Good, and as we come back, we take that spinal twist. Right hand grips on left side, left hand opens. Feel the spine spiral, twisting open. Beautiful. Returning forward. You can step this foot out. And let's take a straddle back inversion. One more chance to be upside down today. So fabric comes around behind you. This one's super similar to the first one we did of class. Thumbs come around behind. This helps to push fabric to about where the sacrum is. So before we did pant line, this is like an inch lower. Rise up to tippy toes, one foot steps back. From here, you start to put pressure into the fabric as you lean back. Your core is super tight. Tiptoe under plumb line so you won't swing. And then under there, hands up, knees wide. Then wrap your ankles. And you can release. Hands. Good work. You can tell that you used the core based on how much you're swinging. So ultimately, in yoga, generally, we want to use more core rather than less. Similar to before, if it's in an uncomfortable spot, come out and readjust exactly where it is so that way we can find that spot that feels good. Usually there's one spot that feels better than others. But this is the last good inversion. We might be here for 5 minutes. We might be here for 2. We'll just leave it up to our group today based on how we feel. Yeah, you work right where you initially had it. That's about where it feels good for me usually. Then you'll have to keep some pressure to keep it locked. Yep. And tiptoe under, hands up, knees wide. You got it. Good work. You know variations with this. Feel free to play with them. I'm not necessarily going to guide those today. We'll get to those eventually if you're new. But just let yourself enjoy whatever it is. This is the last main guided pose of the day, so literally stay as long as your body wants. If you've been up for a little while, you can either take your own stretches or come to the pose where you're hooked on shoulder blades and just letting the hips go down. So first and foremost, give yourself that recovery though, if you just got out. So you can either stay with legs straight, the normal stargazer, or come back to that seated chair position. Let your spine have this chance to drop heavy. Feeling that connection to gravity in a different way, a more upright way. And sometimes I'll take a little twist, knees drop all the way to one side, other. And sometimes I want to loosen up my hips. So I'll kind of do, I call them frog leg circles, just kind of when I circle forward, the knees go out. When I go back, they're straight, or vice versa. Just do any of these movements as long as the head needs to recover, as long as it still feels good. At some point, we're about at our Shavasana time. So that's that restful pose at the end of class. Some of us might want to do a grounded Shavasana, just laying on the mat, that's fine. Some of us might come back inside like we did at the beginning, grabbing the front end. Get about 5 grips or so that you're in the middle. And then just laying back. And always know if there's a last pose or two your body needs to be comfortable, you can always take that for Shavasana. Giving yourself this last chance just to lay back when you're ready. The chance to integrate all of the benefits of our practice into our body. Especially with this idea of connection today, the Shavasana can be a really good chance for us to breathe. Give permission to connect with the breath. Inhales and the exhales, connecting. Trying to not leave quite so much break in between, just so we can experience the connection. Inhale flowing directly to exhale. The exhale flowing directly to inhale. Like a big water wheel churning inside of us. Let the breath guide you into the next few minutes of relaxation. Just resting, no need to go anywhere, no need to do anything. Just breathe. Begin to deepen our inhales. Deepen the exhales. Introduce little movements back to the fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really good. Maybe arms stretch to back wall, shoulders will go right and left. Sometimes I'll take fetal position. So if you're doing that, the body stays long, but you roll onto one hip. So one hip is stacked on top of the other hip. And from there, you can curl in like a tight little ball and arc the spine back 2 or 3 times. So essentially just taking another minute or so, just doing these good movements that feel like they're waking up the body. That help us feel more connected inward. When the body feels pretty good, at some point, you're welcome to come up to a comfortable seated place. No rush to get there. Just when you're ready. So as we rise up, hands can come together in front of heart. We return back to our idea of connection one more time. Perhaps feeling a little bit more connected with our body. Maybe sometimes we carry around our body like its only purpose is to transport our head somewhere. So feeling a little bit more connected to this body that we have, a little more connected to the breath. Maybe even a little more connected to something outside of us, an idea, a concept, or even just the idea of connection with others. And so with this big idea to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.